And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land, to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey. Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, let us make a captain, and let us return to Egypt. And you may be seated. Right before I start, I want to give acknowledgments to my spiritual leader and my father, who has encouraged me all throughout my journey of life. And that is Chief Apostle Howard Gale Sr., PhD, DD, and author. And also my father, Pastor Gregory White Sr. What I want to know is, what is it that causes us to go back to the same situations that we so diligently prayed ourselves out of? Why is it that when we find ourselves taking a step forward in life, later on it seems as if we've taken 10 steps backwards? Well, my brothers and sisters, I would encourage you to take a look back, just to see how far you've come. But what we must overcome is the desire to go back. I can remember the saints saying, testifying back then, is, he brought me out of darkness and into the marvelous life. It said, look where he brought me from. Now, I don't know about nobody else, but that's enough for me, for encouraging me to continue the fight of moving forward. What we must understand as believers in God is that it's God's way or no way at all. And what better way can it be for the creation to be directed to purpose by the Creator? And nobody told me that this road would be easy. But I don't believe that he brought me this far to leave me. Now, I can remember that I had a rough time in life as a little child. And I can remember that I cried and I prayed for a change. And my father came to the doorstep. And if I can remember correctly, I wish he was here to give the testimony, but if I can remember correctly, on our way to Atlanta, Georgia, every second of that drive, I cried to go back. But what I didn't understand at that time is that God had answered my prayer, and he was removing me from bondage, and he was taking me to the molding process to become the man that I am today. And that's quite similar to a story of God's chosen people, also known as the Israelites. Now, the Israelites were the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in which God had promised Abraham that he and his descendants would be blessed. Not only would he be blessed, but the nation would become great. Now, Israel were the chosen people whom God chose to fulfill his plan for salvation and redemption. And if you take the time out to read the story, God performed great miracles for his chosen. He had delivered them from slavery in Egypt. My God also parted the Red Sea for an escape route for the pursuing Egyptians. He also provided a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And that was for Israel's guidance through the wilderness. But soon after they seen all these miracles being performed, they started to complain about food. And you can take a wild guess, yes, God provided. They also complained about water, and he provided that too. But isn't this just like us? After all the miracles we see God perform in our lives, after we witness God making a way out of no way, we always find the most simple thing to complain about. But there was not a day that passed without a miracle